Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin fighting, or the bulls are fighting for the $31,000 level. There isn't much going on in the market at the moment. So today, obviously, stock market closed in the US. Bank holiday, so naturally we expected little movement today. That forecast seems to be working out today. I mean, you can't really expect major moves on a day like that. I mean, crypto can always surprise. Anything is possible, but it's all about likelihoods and what should the market do. And yeah, I mean, you know, obviously market is closed today, so naturally there isn't much going on. But Bitcoin still in this sort of pattern. We looked at this ascending wedge pattern. It is fairly well defined. At least we have two touch points up there, 3 touch points down here. Always bear in mind when you have too many touch points, it gets a little bit too obvious. But this is just an idea because in an ending diagonal, which this one could be, to make sense of the wave count, of the lower degree wave count here, in an ending diagonal, you often see those channels or wedge patterns. They're often a signal for diagonals. Fibonacci levels and extensions are not so well adhered to in diagonals, but I mean, they still do, but they're not so reliable as in an impulse. But diagonals tend to follow those channel lines, those trend lines, at least often, quite frequently, yeah. And I would not misinterpret a break of the trend line as a definite confirmation, but it is still a signal, it's still an indication. For example, if that break to the downside occurs here from the trend line, it is at least a sign of weakness, but we wouldn't be broken out of the range. We wouldn't have an impulse to the downside. It would take a bit more. It's just a first signal, that some things might be changing and that it might be worth watching. But for now, the levels that I gave you in the previous video are still relevant. So ideally, I'd like to see one more high into the $32,000 region. The reason is that I still think, looking at this entire structure that started on the 15th of June, one more high would look better. Okay, with one more high, we would have 5 nice waves up. It would also follow Ethereum, because Ethereum has 5 decent waves to the upside, which means we can count a nice diagonal structure, which, well, has some impulsive characteristics, to be honest, on the Ethereum chart. And Bitcoin could be an impulse, but it would need that one more high. Okay, it doesn't necessarily need that one more high. We talked about that before. It already made a higher high here on the 23rd of June, and that gives it theoretically 5 waves up off the low, as you can see here. It's just not just not a very healthy wave 4 here. It is valid, it's okay, and the wave 5 is okay as well. It's just a bit short and looks a little bit more like a 3-wave structure. But anyway, we are watching this, and ideally I'd like to get just one more wave up here to have 5 decent waves up, and then I have some clarity. At least it gives us a clearer pattern. It's always desirable to have clearer structures, and it's always worth looking for those ideal structures, and to have, if the context allows it, to leave that expectation that we get that ideal structure, to leave that primary expectation, because the market naturally tries to develop structures that are ideal. It's never, you never see an ideal, I mean, I shouldn't say never, but you don't often see those really ideal structures, like, let's say, a textbook ABC correction, like a zigzag as defined in the original Elliott Wave, Frost and Prechter Elliott Wave principle book. I mean, in reality, you often see a whole range of different messy ABC structures that you can put into that category, but is it really that perfect ideal structure all the time? No. So, but still, the market has a tendency to develop towards that. And yeah, I mean, I would like to get it. If not, then it wouldn't be a problem. It would not change the overall assumption that a third wave should happen afterwards. For me, it's at the moment all about, okay, do we get one more high here and form a complete wave 1 with this move up that started on the 30th of June as a 5th wave, so we have 5 decent waves up, and we come down in an ABC structure afterwards in a wave 2 support area. Support is between 28,100 and 26,190. Do we go up then? Or did we already, as per the alternative count highlighted here, did we already complete the 5 waves? This is an A wave down in 3 waves. This is an overshooting B wave, or a high B wave at least. It could become an overshooting B wave even. And do we come down then? It is very, very, very similar structures. I mean, the question really is, do we get one more minor high here or not? That one more high would take it to 32K. It would really need a substantial break above 32K. I did say 32.8K to give you some orientation. That I would say, okay, you know, the overall assumption here of the lower degree wave structure was wrong, or at least, well, not wrong really, because the uptrend is forecasted, but the idea could obviously be that, hey, this was wave 1, and this is the wave 2 here, and we're already going up directly. Now, this would be a complete escalation. The thing is, it would mean that we're already in a 3rd wave. This doesn't look like 3rd wave behavior. That's why I'm not particularly looking for it, but I also cannot ignore that potential. And I need to mention it, not that someone says afterwards, oh, you never said it could go up directly. I mean, anything can happen, right? It's also not too unlikely that it takes off directly, because in a 3rd wave, you just naturally have to expect that. But it is still not the most likely path it should take, in my opinion. If it does, then we obviously have to adjust, and you can't really predict that, but you can manage it with tactics, sound trading tactics and strategies. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you will like the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.